Hi there, Taurus. My name's Drew. This is Modern Tarot. Those of you that are new here, welcome. And those of you returning, as always, welcome back. So, Taurus, let's have a look. What's going to be happening for you, around you, against you, throughout December 2025, right? We're going into a brand new year, guys. I know a lot of you were struggling to let go of a very strong connection. Some of you are practicing cord cutting exercises just to ease that release, even though you still found it quite beautiful. Just shows you have an amazing capacity to love, right, Taurus? That's the positive to take from it. So let's have a look. For Taurus, December 2025. I think one more shuffle, guys, and we're done. I will clarify, so stick around. I hope you're all doing well, sitting down there, relaxed. Some of you, I know, a lot of you listen to it, these readings in the car on the way to work and stuff. Okay, look at this. It's a beautiful card, right? The undercurrent of your reading, Taurus, clarity, the Ace of Swords, honesty with oneself, the truth in a situation. When the Ace of Swords shows, it really is like a light bulb moment. I see clearly now, okay? The center of your reading, however, Chariot in reverse. Okay, this is about you, Taurus, now not rushing into anything. This can also talk about something didn't go ahead, okay? But as a center of the reading, this is like, getting my two horses, traveling, the wheels on the car balance, and we're going in the same direction, okay? As a center of the reading, when it's in reverse like that, it's about you not rushing until you're ready, maybe still letting go of stuff, but something didn't go ahead, okay? The challenge, okay? We got the Page of Wands, okay? It's a challenge to start again after something didn't pan out, Taurus, okay? The Page of Wands, it starts again. It doesn't know where it's going. It just wants adventure. And so for some of you, it's, you're still in the healing process, aren't you, Taurus? Let's be honest and let's get real about things. Why would we rush into something brand new when we're still trying to heal the past, release the past? We want to show up for somebody new with the less amount of baggage as possible, okay? Because it's not fair to a brand new person. So, a challenge for you is to start again, okay? We're going to find out now the reasons why that's all happening. The Seven of Wands, some of you might feel a little bit guarded, The Seven of Wands really, if we've come out of something we deem to be very deep, something quite spiritual, Taurus, and it didn't go in the direction, or it didn't move forward for various reasons, whatever it might have been. Some of them sinister, some life might have got in the way. Other people involved, many scenarios, right? But, it can leave us feeling a little bit guarded. Guarded against love. Guarded against, taking the wand in our hand and going on new adventures, okay? But you know what? The positive is it takes time to heal. A lot of you are focusing on healing, which is commendable. Anyone that can do that tough inner work is to be celebrated, okay? Recent past, all right, Queen of Cups in reverse. This is your emotions being a little bit upside down, Taurus. The Queen of Cups in the upright, she's loving, she's kind. She's not over sentimental. She's loving, she's kind, she's nurturing. And, maybe some of you were forced not to nurture a situation out of self-preservation and chose self-nurturance, okay? Which made you feel a little bit guarded, You might have all this love with nowhere to go. There's a song for you, the Smiths. What did they sing? I think it was called This Charming Man, all dressed up, nowhere to go. No, I would go out tonight, but I don't have a stitch to wear. You might have so much love to give, Taurus, but there was a particular connection that you had to switch off nurturing and switching off your emotions, as hard as it might have been, because it wasn't going in a direction. And now it's a challenge to start again and get back out there. You might be a little bit guarded. All right, some of you are still focused on, we got the King of Pentacles in reverse, all right? Some of you might be focused on your money. You might be thinking, I don't have enough. I need to work on my finances. Some of you might be focused on where you've put your money, bad investments throughout December, going into the new year. How can I do things differently? Others of you, you're focused on a particular person that was non-committal or they couldn't commit. So they might still be in your energetic field, Taurus, throughout December. Very normal. Strong connections take a long time. And the way we really heal from those is all about acceptance. So it's not about shutting off your love. It's still loving that person unconditionally. I know they're out there. I love you from afar. It's much safer because, maybe they weren't coming or seeing the connection through the same lens as you, the same depth. Okay, because we're all looking at the world through different lenses. Okay, what you don't see coming towards you, some of you watch your back, your physical back throughout December. Pay attention to your back, the way you're lifting things, okay? No sudden movements. Certainly, when you're on your phone and you're walking down the sidewalk and then you don't see the sidewalk change levels, number one accident in the world for lower back problems. I heard that the other day. Watch your physical backs. Others of you, you might, there might be a residue of feeling betrayed, which might come to the forefront throughout December. Remember, Christmas and New Year, it's quite a nostalgic time. It's one of family celebrations. It's quite a loving time of year, but it might be a focus on your mind of, what, I was kind of like stabbed in the back then. Okay, so just watch that. It's a fleeting thing. It will come like a wave. Honor it. Watch it come, Taurus, and then just, oh, that's interesting. There's still some stuff to heal, but look at it as fun, as a project, okay? Right, so your energetic field, some of you are really struggling to walk away from a situation, and I think it's an energetic pull. We can have connections, guys, and they are very 5D, but in the 3D, they can be an absolute mess, a lack of coming together. Maybe there's third-party situations, maybe the other side of the world, distance involved, all these kind of things. But I think your energetic field is still one of, I haven't quite walked away yet, okay? Let's have a look. So outside influences, we got, yeah, look, something still isn't over. And I really believe, guys, it's energetic. And you will feel it come in waves, Taurus. And sit back and look at it with fascination. Very often, if we've had to stop nurturing a situation, we've really pulled back our energy and we're saying to ourselves, I can't let this control my life anymore. I cannot let it overwhelm me, take up so much space in my heart and my mind rent free. There's nothing in it for me, because we're actually energetically feeding and elevating the other person with all these beautiful, nurturing thoughts. And they're walking around the world feeling a bag of beans, and we are left feeling depleted, okay? It's energetic, okay? Now, that can very much be sometimes if we've pulled away and we're doing things, keeping ourselves busy, and this particular connection keeps coming back to us, it's because they're very much still in our energy field, maybe thinking about us. It's a fear of yours. It's a fear of yours to let go of the nostalgic feelings, to let go of this soul connection. 6 of Cups, all right? In reverse, it's a fear that, if I do let this go, I'm already guarded about starting something new. Where am I now? I'm going to feel empty. And that's just the way sometimes the mind and heart can trick us into staying stuck, feeling, what's now? I've got an empty space. Better to hang on to something that hasn't worked out, that makes me feel a little bit down, but at least I've got this melancholic feeling, which is quite a warm feeling, I might add. Some of the most beautiful poetry and music and art is created through the state of melancholy. It's just if we live in that state too long, it can be quite dangerous for us. We can then slip into depression and things, right? So, it's a fear of yours to completely close it out and let it go, but you can do it by cutting the energy cords, right? There's many YouTube channels that focus on that. Pick a voice that resonates with you, that soothes you, that speaks to your inner being, the voice, sound it can be very important, okay, and how it touches you and how deep it hits you. The outcome, look, this is your card, all right? We've got the Hierophant here. This is a commitment, okay? This could be a commitment to yourself, to your healing, Taurus. This can be a commitment, okay? But it's tried and tested ways the Hierophant talks about, it can talk about education. It can talk about information gathered in municipal buildings. It can talk about churches, society, the tried and tested. So I'm going to clarify this now, right? So stick around, Taurus, and we'll find out what's going on. But, I hope you're understanding what I'm trying to say here. Maybe my words aren't, bang on. Maybe they don't resonate with some of you, but those kind of connections that I think a lot of Taurian people went through, they can be very consuming. They're kind of like bittersweet. And really, they are there just to say, hey, look, you know what? I miss it so much because I love so much, because I have that capacity to love. Does that make sense? It's only, we mourn and we think about things, but it's because we cared, whether the other person or the other situation, whether it's work, love, life, maybe they didn't care as much, right? Why is the Chariot in reverse? Is the center of your reading for December? Yeah, you might be feeling a bit stuck and you feel like I'm not really moving on in life here. I'm still in two minds. I think, Taurus, it's this energetic pull is keeping you in two minds. Why doesn't it feel like it's over? You know? And like I said, guys, very often it can be the other person thinking about you a lot and invading your psyche. All right? Deep reading, guys. The challenge is to start again, to get a new start with the Page of Wands. Okay, why is that here? King of Wands in reverse. Some of you might have a history of, dealing with people that are a little bit player-like. They're in and out, wishy-washy, tippy-toe Timmies, handsome, pretty strangers that it only goes so far, and we're always in the Page of Wands stage. Do you know what I mean? We're not building, But it's a challenge to get a new start with somebody. Maybe somebody lacks confidence. They can stay in other situations due to lack of confidence and totally self-sabotage or sabotage a beautiful connection. The reason why it's all happening, yeah, you're guarded, Taurus, honor that within you. I am guarded. Okay, it's self-preservation. You're certainly guarded against people that don't take control of situations. You are guarded against people that, for my female viewers, it'd be like men coming to you and go, yeah, Taurus, I really want you in my life and blah, blah, blah. But essentially, they want you on their terms to fit into their plan, as opposed to solution-based unions of two people coming together. It's like, yeah, I want you, Taurus, in my life, but on my terms, Recent past, Queen of Cups. Yeah, look, you felt betrayed. Maybe some of you felt like you betrayed yourself by entering into a certain situation, but you couldn't help it. Some of you might have felt that it was destined, but why something so destined felt like a stab in the back? And it really is part of life's journey to teach you about depth. This is all lessons in learning, Taurus. You might be going, stuff it, Drew. I'm done with lessons, but that's life. We're always learning. The moment we think we've got it all sussed out, there's going to be a shock, all right? You're focused on the King of Pentacles in reverse, all right? Some of you might have been dealing with someone with Capricorn in their chart, I'm just saying. Some of you might be focused on someone that hasn't committed or moved forward with you and they're in a toxic situation. And you're just thinking, look, if you just come over to Taurus's side here, things are going to be so much better for you. Maybe they choose to be stuck, But, I want you, Taurus. I want you in my life, but I'm dealing with something else here. Just give me time, blah, blah, blah. Do they lack the confidence to move away from a miserable situation? Hence, they're keeping you stuck too, right? And you feel betrayed. Yeah, look, Taurus, we're coming out of 2025 now, okay? And so what you don't see coming towards you, you are going to have this feeling of feeling betrayed or stabbing yourself in the back or betraying yourself because you still have so much love for someone. Ace of Cups here, for a very select few of you, somebody that might have betrayed you might be coming around to offer you something here. The Ace of Cups is a brand new beginning in love, okay? Some of you might be really, instead of stabbing yourself in the back, letting yourself down, betraying yourself, you realize that's not the most loving thing to do. You're becoming your own best friend, and now we're honoring self-love, just for a select few, guys. Remember, not a personal reading. It's kind of interesting, your energy, although you haven't walked away, and it's quite interesting, Taurus, although you haven't walked away, some of you still feel that something hasn't quite closed out, hasn't really ended. Why do I feel this pull, But you find it hard to walk away, but at the same time, and I think some of you might have done cord cutting, or when you do cord cutting throughout December, doesn't mean to say you're cutting that person out of your life for good. It means that you are cutting off your energy supply to them. So you're no longer building them up at a distance, and you're feeling depleted, and you're dropping the burden. So you're going to feel lighter around it. Now, the connection can still be as strong as ever, but it becomes more in balance now. More of the energy is flowing back to yourself with the Ace of Cups. And that person, normally when that happens, they start to energetically, no matter how emotionally intelligent or non-intelligent they are, they feel, what's that feeling I've just got? Like Taurus is disappearing, but it's energy, right? Outside influences, yeah, you don't feel that something is truly over, Taurus, subconsciously, and it keeps you a little bit stuck, all right? So just expect a little bit more of that throughout December, okay? But it's very normal, okay, if it's a deep connection. In your fears, we've got the Six of Cups in reverse. You don't want to drop it, and yet there's a fear of yours. Will we ever get back together? Will we ever reunite? So a lot of you, what's the word I'm looking for? You're kind of like a little bit in limbo with it, I can't let it go, but at the same time, I need to drop the burden of this, Maybe I've been self-sabotaging myself, stabbing myself in the back. Now I need to focus on self-love, which you don't see coming. So for a select few of you, you are gonna really commit to making major life decisions for yourself in line with self-love, okay, Taurus? Others of you, somebody might be making a decision regarding a commitment, okay? Whatever that might mean for you, Taurus. Maybe somebody's in a commitment and they're making a decision about it now. It's judgment call, final orders at the bar, plane now leaving gate 7, That's an interesting set of cards there as an outcome. Why is that here, though? Outside influences, it's not quite over. And yet, there's a feeling of stuckness. What's that all about for you, Taurus? Guys, I read every 2 weeks on YouTube, and there's only small increments of change. And, sometimes readings can sound so repetitive. It might be 1 or 2 cards that turn up right or turn the other way around. But that's life. It's not, we don't go from zero to guru. We are making small changes, small increments of change. And it's only when we look back, periods of reflection, we go, wow, I've come a long way. And yet it's an arduous task, right? To heal and to move on. And avoidant attachment, okay? Something's not over. You're still stuck. And I think it's something to do with an avoidant attachment. And how that can play out in life is we can have very deep connections with people, and as soon as it gets too heavy, too intense, they disappear, or they'll create some kind of sabotaging event, an argument or whatever, to create distance, because it's all too much for them. And then they come back as if nothing happened, So, this is kind of interesting. Whether this is you, Taurus, we can flip the script in tarot, okay? But you might baffle yourself, just for a select few of you, where you are a bit avoidant about attachments, a bit guarded and all these kind of things, all right? And then you'll have bouts of feeling a little bit needy, a little bit insecure, okay? Just watch that, okay? This is life's rich pageant of, shifting emotions. or there's might be someone that's kept you stuck in the past, because they were avoidant, and yet they need you. They're quite insecure. King of Wands in reverse. I think they lack confidence. This person to, you know, grab a situation. Grab the reins of the chariot and go, right, okay, let's be definite about this. And that's a very male energy about, it's very linear, isn't it? Male energies, right? Let's do this. And then the female energies go, hey, but have we thought about this? So the female is nurturing the situation and removing obstacles, whereas the male can just, really go for it, which can work sometimes and really get things done. But there's someone there where they have two very different sides to them. They act avoidant because maybe they're scared of intimacy, and then suddenly they're very needy. They've yet to found that inner balance, okay? Some of you, you don't want to be alone, all right? It's a fear of yours, will I always be alone? Or, after such a beautiful connection, is there anything else out there that can even hit that mark? Having said that, I'm guarded against this emperor kind of an emperor in reverse energy. Again, another lack of taking control. Emperor in reverse. It's, yeah, I want you in my life, Taurus, but it's not an ideal situation. But as long as you can live with that, isn't that great? So the chariots, the horses are going in separate directions, not on the same page, not linear, not traveling life together or traveling through an adventure, however long it might last, right? Love is never guaranteed. Everything's on loan in life. Okay. An outcome, Taurus, throughout the month of December. Okay. Some of you will commit to the idea that I really need to move on and take the reins of my own life here because I'm feeling a little bit lost with no purpose. And, these kind of connections, sometimes they can actually take you off your path where you believe it's so strong and so magnetic and so deep that it becomes your purpose. And then when it's gone, you're lost and you feel purposeless. So some of you might be really studying and make a decision to study, to really put your heads down into your life purpose, your dedication, your devotion, your vocation in life. Okay? And some of you might really start to nurture that. Okay? Because you are loving and nurturing, Taurus. If it is about love, okay, throughout December, let's have a look. How are we doing time-wise? Yeah, we're doing okay. If it is about love, all right, throughout December, I'm sure you know the cards that are already going to pop out, right? I think I do. If it is about love throughout December for you, Taurus. So, expect a mixed bag, all right? Doesn't have to be heavy, guys. It really is one about there's an energetic pull and you don't feel it's quite over, but well, I'm feeling a lighter about it, but there's still this pull. Passion, allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. Some of you, as I say, you might be really focused now. I've lacked purpose. I've been lost for a time. I really want to nurture my own education and make decisions around self-love here. And I want to find some passion, maybe outside of a situation like this, outside of love, because I'm feeling a bit guarded. Make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. For some of you guys, somebody might come back around. They've made a decision about a commitment that they're in, and they feel a little bit lost, and they're missing that loving, nurturing feeling. And now they want to make an effort just for a select few, okay, not for everybody. And then there's one here, let go of control issues. So I think it's a mixed bag for Taurians throughout December. Some of you, you might come to the conclusion, hey, look, I can't have it all my way. Maybe this person, maybe they're otherwise engaged, but you know what? I'll enjoy a connection with them for as much as I can get from it. And I'm going to let go of trying to control exclusivity and all these kind of things. Select few, remember, not a personal reading, guys. Others of you, what was the card again? Letting go of control issues, allow the situation to unfold naturally. Back to this, I can't walk away, but I feel lighter, because you've called cut and all these kind of things. And Cord cutting is not about controlling it. Cord cutting, it is self-preservation. These attachments that are still, and when we cut them, they can grow back. It's energy, guys. Very deep reading for you. It always is with Taurian people. Um, Something that's going to be important throughout December, okay, that you can consider, something that maybe you've overlooked that might be key towards healing, moving forward in abundance, letting go of control. Something for you, Taurus. Emotional balance. Okay, Ace of Cups there. Emotional balance, stability, harmony, peace, and fluidity. And some of you are making, committing to the idea of, I'm making major life decisions now. I've been a bit lost with no purpose because of maybe this very deep connection that might have, overtaken me at times and become a bit of an obsession. And why am I obsessing about someone that could probably never commit to me? Why am I letting them, control me? Why am I letting them live rent free in my heart and mind? And where was I going? You are going to find and be committed to finding emotional balance. Okay, the mind. Okay, this is openness, flexibility, imagination, and learning. Okay, some of you, back to the Hierophant. That could be knowledge, gaining knowledge, wisdom, and self-expression, vocalization, individuality, inner voice, and assertiveness. Some of you are going to give yourselves a good talking to in the mirror. Hey, look, you know what? This really did a number on me. I became a little bit addicted to someone, you know. The devil in tarot can be a card of codependency, okay? Addicted to avoidant characters, you know, where they bring out this needy, insecure side to me, which I'm not normally needy or insecure. It's basically energy meets energy. So if someone's super avoidant, the other person, if they haven't gained emotional balance, will find themselves, needy and insecure. And it's just that avoidant energy is coming to bring to your awareness how far off purpose we have gone. And the purpose is to find emotional balance, to be, individualization, if you like, okay? So we've got the heart and mind working in unison now. So, look, it's an interesting reading, Taurus. You might be saying, stuff it, Drew. I just want to feel light and party on down. But it's life, isn't it? These kind of connections are all here to help us learn, help us grow, help us not to take advantage of situations or take things for granted. If you're a song Taurus, all right, throughout the month of December, lyrics might mean something. The band might mean something to you. The melody might just evoke certain feelings. Okay, give it one listen. Not surprised. All right, so we got a song by Taylor Swift here. I think Ryan Adams did an amazing version of this. Okay, all you had to do was stay. Whatever that might mean. That might have come out before for you. Give that a listen to, All you had to do was stay. And, is that the outcome of this reading, where someone is now making a decision around, some kind of a commitment? Because they're missing the loving nurturance of Taurus. And Taurus is going, well, all you had to do was stay, Don't make it fit, guys, just if it resonates, great. One of these, Taurus, all right, stick it in your back pocket as a mantra that you can pull out just to boost your morale. But it's an interesting month in balancing the heart and the mind, okay, as opposed to being, one leading the other and they're not working in unison, chariot, the horses going in different directions. And self-expression, vocalization, throat chakra, color blue might be quite significant. Blue, purple, and green might be significant colors, all right? Surround yourself with them. Peace. Taurus, tranquility surrounds your life right now. A peaceful road awaits. And you know what? For a lot of you, it really is acceptance of, look, I find it hard to walk away from this, but the burden's getting lighter. And as I say, it's a lot of you, I know a lot of my personal clients were exercising experimenting with cord cutting exercises, and it's working. Forgive, whether in person or in your mind, forgive and move forward. The only person you're hurting by holding on to resentment is yourself, Taurus. Back to these cards, which you don't see coming, feeling betrayed. And then self love kicks in, forgiving yourself, having compassion for yourself, knowing the lesson was always you have amazing capacity to love. And that's quite rare in this world these days, right, Taurus? So, good on you. Great work. Very deep reading for you guys. I want to give you one more of these actually, to love you and leave you with. These readings ended up being so long today, and I plan to do pretty short readings. I know some of you like short ones, some of you like more in-depth readings, but I can't leave a reading unread. In my personal readings, I always go over time, because I can't leave it unread. It's just not right. Choose, Taurus. Look at this, the outcome. All right, making decisions, committing to decisions, being final, making major life decisions with judgment. Choose. You choose how you feel, react, and perceive everything in your life, Taurus. Choose to only see through love and positivity, okay? And self-love, okay? But just remember, I think a core issue was somebody was avoidant, which brought out these feelings of insecurity or neediness from the other. And it's a dance, but, it really is only there to teach us emotional balance, that we do not let situations overwhelm us. We have one foot in the wisdom well at all times, okay? Heart and mind in unison, as opposed to one leading the other. Okay, Taurus, look, I hope you enjoyed that. My name is Drew. This is Modern Tarot. If you like the content, please like, share, or subscribe. It means I can continue to do it for free for you. If you want a personal reading, you can reach out on moderntarot.net directly, or browse the YouTube Modern Tarot store. There's always products that flick on the bottom of the screen. And I'll do my best to give you some guidance on your personal situations. In the meantime, look, have an amazing first couple of weeks of December, and I'll probably see you back here mid-month. Take care, Taurus. Bye now.